Welcome back to Six Ashes for episode 6 with me, MrSealyp. It's 6:41 in the morning. I had a late night last night, as you can see, and it wasn't down the pub. I carried on doing a bit of work. We're up to 127,923. I have taken on another fertilising contract because there's one available and it pays out quite well. But in this episode, I may finish off with that, but we've got some things to do. I've been having a bit of a think about where we're going to be going and what we're going to be doing. Now, I've already kind of thought for my thumbnail, this thing is proving to be awesome. I didn't go with the one with the big knobbly tyres, I just went with a standard yard sale. Now, we're not having a yard sale, although we are getting rid of everything from the yard. My wife is a very understanding lady and she puts up with a lot of rubbish from me in the real world and in game, but we're going to be clearing the front garden because I think we're both in agreement we're going to make a real mess of the lawn and that kind of thing. So we're going to be looking at some land today. So I'm going to do a bit of driving around. I am going to take the trailer with me and probably the front loader and probably the weight, simply because when we get where we're going it's going to be easier to drop it all off. Then I'll come, actually the weight I can leave behind because I'm going to need that when I transport the cultivator, because that's actually pretty big and pretty heavy. If I do the front loader first, that'll make life a little bit easier than trying to hook up to the front loader with the trailer attached. So I'm going to do that first. Lift that up a little bit. Now, a couple of people I want to say a big thank you to. Well, VF for one. Thank you, VF, for watching. If you don't know who VF is, Virtual Farmer, he was one of my compatriots when we were doing the Farming Simulator League commentating. If you don't know where his channel is or what his channel is, go over and have a look. Virtual Farmer, if I remember, I'll put a link in the description. But a man who owns a lot of land around here, a man who kind of made it all happen. I was contacted, not down the pub, by GB. GB, who made all this possible, to say that he has got a yard for sale, hence yard sale. I've also been contacted by various different farmers and people around the local area telling me about bits of land that are available and not too badly priced. The first of them being this plot of land here, which has got a nice bit of grass on it, which won't get me a huge amount of bales or anything like that, but for doing something like silage baling to make a bit of extra money, or selling, or for making TMR or whatever, this could come in quite handy. So the first of my purchases today, there's a contract I got ongoing at the moment, fertilising field 44 for 10,454. I'll be mad to pass it up. So yeah, this plot here, field 65, is 30,390. So that's the first of our purchases for today. I'm probably, when we get our new yard, going to move my little doormat and put it at the new yard. That way, if I work late or I've got an early start, I won't disturb the missus. So that's the first of our plots of land that we're getting today. Now I'm going to carry on doing work to build up money, because at the end of the day I can lease machinery if I need to. I'm just thinking land at the moment for me is going to be more important, because I thought I could spend 77 grand on a seeder, but realistically I need the land. Right, I need land. So right, carrying on down the line, doesn't it look absolutely fantastic now? We're in late spring, everything's growing, the colours, oh. If I haven't already mentioned it, this is an amazing map to just drive around. Now, there is this area here, but it's quite expensive. I think for the plot of land it's about 200 and something thousand. I want to go this way. The pig farm may be something we do a little bit further down the line, but I don't think I've got enough money for the pig farm just yet. So we're going to carry on down the lane. Now this actually, I think I'm getting a bit of a reputation. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind going to the pub. And if you watch my Man Cave tour, my 50,000 subscriber special, you'll know that I'm quite partial to a pint of real ale. I do like a pint. I think because the pub here is the kind of, like I said, the meeting point for everyone locally. It comes down. I don't spend my life in there, but it just so happens that the yard in question is right next door. So it's actually here. And this is the little plot that GB is selling. Now it's a little yard, don't get me wrong, but we've got a little shed, we've got a caravan, so we could do a bit of, we can have a bit of a kip, log store, throw a little burner in there. We've got a lime station, and there's a water point here as well. And what's fantastic about this plot of land is it's probably overlooked by many. I wouldn't have even noticed if you hadn't have let me know and said, look, it's available. It's a bit of a kind of overspill for people just putting stuff, but I feel a little bit like Claude Greengrass here. People will know. Some people will know. That I'm not sure about. I don't think I can remove that. But anyway, this plot is very reasonably priced, considering it's going to be a spot for putting all of my stuff, and it's a start location. Now, if I click on this one here, you think, okay, that one there, no, that one there. It's actually right on there, and that little plot is 1,960 to buy. So I want to buy it. So I now own this little yard. Thank you, GB. Absolutely fantastic. Now, obviously, as we expand, I'm not going to be able to get all of my gear in here. And I may struggle a little bit because that cultivator is quite large. But I will at least be able to get some stuff in here for the time being, and it gets it off the lawn. Like I say, it's probably for the best, I think. So just be finding homes for everything, really. I will have a bit of a play around with the doormat. I'm assuming I'll be able to put the doormat down. We'll see. So, that's the next bit. Let's go back and grab some other stuff. So, I have now got the option. And it won't go down well with a lot of people, but it doesn't matter. I'm playing it. It's the land I want to buy. I think we're going to make some honey money. Again, it's a nice cheap plot of land to buy. We're going to buy the little allotment because I can deliver manure, which I think I'll probably do. We might as well do it actually while we're doing all this. Actually, I should look at the trailer. It doesn't matter. I'll go because I'll need to adjust the trailer anyway. I'm doing a lot of waffling. I'm kind of thinking out loud. And we've got water available now, although I'm going to need to buy... No, I've got the lights on. I'll turn the indicators off. Something for transporting water. There are loads of things available. So we will get something. So what I'll do is just grab the next couple of bits. We'll head back over. What I'll do is grab the weights and the cultivator. We'll take that. The problem is I don't think I can put the cultivator down unless it's unfolded, so it does actually take up a fair bit of room. So as you can see, it's quite weighty. And this front weight on here just about manages it. Now that is huge on the back of here. It is 7.8 metres. It is massive. When it's unfolded, it's not too bad, and this pulls it really well. But I am still thinking potentially there are other options available which I might go down the route of. Because again, it does work, and with a weight it goes on, but I just don't think it's the right thing. Oh, just thinking now, do I change it now? I could do, right. Anyway, so what we'll do, the honeypot allotment, we'll buy that, which is that little plot there for 11,270. So we're going to buy that little plot. We'll go to there later on. There's also, again, we'll get to that later. You know what I need to do? Let's go to garage. That's worth 20,179. And if I... Oh, it's a tricky one. If I take it back, I'll get a little bit more than that for it. Let's have a look on the sales tablet, shall we? Now this was, again, I think this was under miscellaneous, wasn't it? £15 grand, 6 metres, so it's a little bit smaller, but it only requires 80 horsepower. Oh no, that has fertiliser. That's not the thing I was thinking of. That's not the cultivator, that's the fertiliser. Oh man. You know what, in my head, before I got up this morning, I had this all sorted out. Had it sorted out in my head, I thought, right, I know what I'm doing. I'm sorted, I haven't got to worry. And now I'm back to second guessing myself again. That's what I've got. Where's the other one? Oh, please tell me it's not gone from the store. It was available the other day. There was the row, and it was 6 metres. Oh. Oh, blimey. Thank you to everyone. I mean, so many people have messaged me and said they've got stuff available and did I know about this or that. You know what, I'll keep it for the time being. That's frustrating. Mind the gate. Like I say, this is surprisingly, when it's out on the grass there, it looks, I mean, it looks fairly big anyway, but I'm just thinking when I get to my yard, that's going to take up a massive amount of space. And you can already see when I'm go over a bump, the front wheels do lift, so I'm on the limit. Now, you may argue that, you know, nobody in their right mind would do that, but I will posit this. When I was watching George Saunders, and someone messaged me the other day to ask me a question about one of his latest videos. I am way behind. I'm way behind on George Saunders' videos. I've got to catch up. I'm a long way behind. The one I was watching the other day, they were testing out a plough. I think it was was it Kverneland? I'm trying to think who the manufacturer was. And he had, was it the Fendt or a John Deere he was using? And they'd put a big old weight on the front of it, and he did say they were on the limit of what the tractor could cope with, and this thing was teetering, and the back tyres were, I mean, they weren't flat, but they were really low. And he said then, when he was driving it, he said, you know, you do reach that point where you can keep putting weights on the front and you can put a heavy weight on the front, but the tractor can't cope with it. It just, you know, it will cause problems. And that, with this, you know, it works. But we are on the limit, really on the limit here. Yeah, I'm just thinking, where am I going to be able to put this down? I'm pretty sure it won't let me put it down like this. Please let me. Come on, just disconnect. It does. Oh, that's alright. Why did I unfold it before then? Oh, that's good then. What I'll do is I'll stick that right out of the way. Utilise my space. Okay, that's better. Which just leaves my fertiliser, my fertiliser spreader, which I'm going to be using in a little while anyway. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab some manure. Probably don't need the front weight on. I suppose what I could do as well, if this is going to be my new sort of area, we could put a... Just thinking, we could put a little toolbox here, but there are plenty of workshops locally. It would seem a bit excessive, wouldn't it? If we're going to be going back and forwards to the store to do different jobs, we can get work done there. So I'm going to go whizzing up to the store first. Get this customised to maximum capacity. We'll whiz to the livestock market, grab some manure. We'll head down to the allotments, put some manure in. I need to get some water, so I'm going to need some method of carrying water. Buckets would not seem suitable at this present moment in time. I just realised when I pulled out of here earlier, I didn't even look. It does say give way very clearly. Oh no. Oh no. Actually, this could play into my hand. Well, it depends. That's the other downside with running at ×5. Great demands disappear in an absolute blink of an eye. Right. Sawmill. What's in great demand? It's going to be wood chips, isn't it? Well, you would think it'd be wood chips. It's gone up to 985 again. Oh no, man. That was only on 800 earlier. It was dropping massively compared to the biogas plant. I thought, well, we're off season now, aren't we? That's why we're heading in towards summer. Wood chips not going to be worth as much. 985. Trouble is, I don't think, if I'd have been, how can you be prepared for a great demand? But had I had some machinery and equipment ready to go, we could have really. Because the next plot of land I was going to buy actually is kind of linked to that, but I don't have the necessary machinery to do what I know. I'm talking in riddles at the moment. I'm not making a lot of sense, am I? Apologies for that. I had an interesting comment left a few days ago. Actually, I wasn't going to mention it, but I thought, yeah, I'm going to. I'm not trying to. You know, what's the phrase that the young ones use these days? Atting you. I'm not trying to call anyone out or anything like that. It was just one that I thought was an interesting one, and it was about, because I said about the Let's Play and why I was surprised people didn't seem to be enjoying it as much as I thought, as much as I am, customised, and. It was one of those ones that was kind of alluding to the fact that it's quite slow going, which I think we said right from the word go, and I think everyone is fully aware of. Seasons does that. I mean, I could be skipping days and days and days. I could be all the way through to autumn by now. What I could do after this episode is jump ahead and say, oh, summer was lovely, but now we're doing harvesting, and then people will be like, well, hang on a minute, we've missed all the change. That's the point of seasons. And the comment, I'm paraphrasing, said so far they couldn't see, or I haven't shown what the map has to offer. Seriously? Look at it. I've done various different jobs. I've bought manure from the buy points. I've done some cultivating, fertilising, sowing. I've driven around to different parts of the map. Yeah, we haven't done biogas stuff yet. We haven't done any forestry yet. There's so much stuff we haven't done yet. But it was a weird kind of like. And to be fair, I had done a map tour, and I had done a behind the scenes. I have done a behind the scenes of setting this all up. So it kind of baffled me. It was one of those ones like, really, you can't see what the map has to offer. It was a surprising thing, And like I said, I'm not being nasty. I'm not being horrible. It just seemed a bit odd. But now this is an investment. In so much as that just cost me 380. So when I put this in, I may have some left over, and if I do have some left over, that's great. What we'll do is we'll dump it It may well mean as well at some point fairly soon I'm going to need to get what's the word? A bucket for my front loader, because if we do have any left over, what I will do is stick it to one side and then we can shovel it in as we need it. So this may be way more than we need. I'm not entirely sure actually. I don't know how much it requires. Whoa, that didn't want to stop. Bit of brake fade there. I might have to have a look at that. So let's enjoy the countryside again. Well, I'm enjoying the countryside. The northern coast was the map I was trying to think of the other day, which is the one by Greenbale, who did Greenwich Valley. Northern coast, oh man. It's out on PC, it hasn't come out on console, but wow, that's a phenomenal looking map as well. Here's another one. You know, it's an art. Some people have got it naturally. Some people have to work at it and do incredibly, you know, like fantastic stuff. Some people it's just in their blood, and yeah, Greenbale's another one. Wow. And I think that's the thing. If you can drive around and it's evocative and it makes you feel something. And I've said this so many times before about art generally, you know, anything, paintings, music, literature. If you read something, see something, watch something, listen to something, and it makes you feel, it makes you experience something, it may evoke a memory, it may, you know, there's all sorts of things that it's done its job. You know, it's amazing. If you look at something and you feel nothing, or you listen to something nothing, then you know, it's a little bit. But then someone else might get that feeling from it, and that is the beauty of it. I always remember teaching when I used to teach art at school, at primary school, admittedly. You know, I'm an okay artist, not, you know, nothing to write home about, but that's what I tried to explain to the kids. And you'd always have, you know, everyone is an artist. Everyone can produce something. And just because you think it's rubbish, and so many kids, I can't do art, I'm rubbish at art. And I said, yes, you can. Because you started off with a clear piece of paper. Anything you do now, and the same with writing, when I did literature and we taught, you know, taught English and writing and narrative and storytelling, and you've got a blank page. Anything you write is new. It's original. As long as you haven't plagiarised somebody else, you have created something from nothing. And you may not think it's great. You may look at it and think, oh, I don't like that. Somebody will. Somebody somewhere will look and go, that I love that. And that's the thing with any of these things. And it's difficult. I always found when my daughter did graphic design, and she did art and graphic design at school, she wanted to be a graphic designer. And when it came to marking of exam work, and I said the problem with it is, if you're an examining board, you're marking work, it's all well and good. You have to be impartial. Surely you've got to be impartial, because you can mark it on the skill involved, you can mark it on certain elements of art, but if you're somebody, an examiner, and you look at a piece of work and I don't like that, and you mark it down because your personal preference isn't that particular thing. The thing about art is it's subjective, isn't it? To anyone that looks at it, it's one of those things that, again, you may not like it, but the next person that walks up and looks at it, it may be the best thing they've ever seen. So if you're an examiner marking artwork, that must be an incredibly hard thing to do, because yeah, I mean, how would you do it? Because if a child gets marked down because it's just not your cup of tea, that's not really fair on the work the person's put in, and then the next examiner can come and look and mark them really highly because it's everything they ever wanted from a piece of art. It's an interesting thing, isn't it? Anyway, I don't know how I completely got off topic on this. Oh yeah, it was the map making, wasn't it? Ah, oh, dearie me. Yeah. And yeah, it's amazing. I'm not a modder, I'm not a map maker. I would love to be able to do it. I would love to have a go. I just don't have the house in the day. I would love it. And I know if I started doing it, if I got on my PC and thought, you know what, I'm going to teach myself, I'm going to learn, I'm going to speak to anyone I know to help me, my life would disappear. Any amount of free time that I have would vanish. because I'm that sort of person. Because I'm slightly obsessive when I do. My wife's from in the front room going slightly obsessive about things I start. Yeah, honestly, it would be terrifying. But my hat's off to anyone that does it, and anyone that does it well. So, with all that being said, alright, we'll do water next. What we'll do is, let's drop the trailer off. We'll go and grab a container for water. When we go back and do the water, then I'll sort out the next bit of land, which is what I was going to do. I like this. I say it's not massive, it's not tidy, but it's mine. And that's what's important. So drop that off, and it's also not in the front garden, which means I won't be in trouble, which is also nice. Okay, I'm at the store. I have found a manufacturer that's probably going to give me exactly what I need. It's a local engineer, FS19. They modify equipment, and that's exactly what we need. So, under animals, we've got the Aquatrans there, 7,300 litre, 9,500 to buy. I've got a couple of odds and ends. The Mark S8 is, or the MKS8 is alright, 25 grand. It does milk and water as well. I have got the IBCs, which I've used quite a lot before. It's only 2,000 litre capacity, only 1,950, which isn't too bad at all. I am erring on the side of maybe doing that, but what I have found is this: the water trailer, 10,000 litre capacity for 5,500. I don't think that's too bad at all. Nice and low on the old slots as well. This is where things get a little bit, because you have to pay a bit extra. Only 300. I'm going to leave it blue because it's going to have water in it, so we'll leave it as the standard default. And that's that. So what we'll do is we'll take that past the yard. We will fill it up at the yard. We'll go over to our new allotments, put the water in, which will give us a bit of income. And while we're over there, actually I say while we're over there, because the next plot of land I'm thinking of buying, I'm not actually sure where it is. I have heard tales of a mythical plot of land that's available. Unfortunately, I did what I usually do, and I read the comment. There was a few people that mentioned it. Went, oh, okay, that's cool. I'll bear that in mind. Which I did bear in mind, and which I am now thinking, you know what, I'm going to do that. But I can't remember where the people said it was, which plot it was. So I might have to do a bit of. I've got an idea, I think. But again, it's all good. So this is more in the guise of kind of prep work. I'm so torn with this whole wood chip situation as well. I know I'm just moving equipment around today, but this is another step forward for me and for the farm, for my farm progress, in that I've now got land, which I didn't have. You know, bearing in mind I started with nothing. I had £1, which I then subsequently lost or spent on hiring a worker potentially. I had a hoverboard and a dream, and look where we are now. Admittedly, I'm in a bit of debt with the bank, but you know, it's to be expected under the circumstances. But now we've got land. We've got a nice little grass plot. We've got our own little yard. We've got a little allotment, and none of it too expensive either. Living the dream. I would love to do this for real. I think it would just be amazing. I've often said, oft remarked, I would love to do some fun. Absolutely. Problem is, it's that dream of, you know, it's the lottery win dream, and it's that our retirement dream. But the problem is, when we get to the point where we can retire and we look to move somewhere, there we go, let's put some water in, where we can afford to move up to the Lake District or the area we want to move to. At retirement age, I'll be too old to do it all. Am I supposed to say that? There are plenty of people yeah, in their 60s, 70s, 80s even, still farming. So, you know, to say I'll be too old, that's ridiculous. You're as old as you feel, you're as old as your body will let you. Yeah, I'm old. So, once full, we will head over, sort that out. I will have a quick peruse of the map. See if I can pinpoint. I mean, being right next to the pub, that's a result, isn't it? I mean, I don't even have to hoverboard back down dark lanes to the house anymore. I can just stumble through the hedge. Although, why I don't know why I would suggest I would be stumbling. I mean, I'm only going for a half. It's probably one of those old wives' tales. Every family probably has one of these, and it probably isn't unique to my family, but it's one of those ones my granddad always told me, and again, a bit of a yarn I suppose, that my great-grandfather would always say to my great-grandmother that he was off down the pub for a swift half, and obviously would come back inebriated. And I remember my granddad saying that my great-grandma remarked one time she didn't realise how big a half pint was, which I thought is brilliant. That's such a fantastic line. My great-grandma was a lovely woman. And my great-grandpa, grandpops, wow, God was a legend. Sorry, gone all nostalgic then, just thinking about him. Got a picture of him somewhere. My I mean, being an artist, my daughter being a graphic designer. There we go. Put some water in. Oh, I only took 2,000 litres. I could have got away with the IBC. I'm going to leave this here then. So my manure and my water will stay here for the time being, and that's only water for something else at any time when we decide to get animals and that kind of thing. We will come and gather it, but for the time being, that can stay there. So let's disconnect that. Yeah. So as I was just saying, yeah, my it's weird because my dad, his uncle, so my great uncle, they were only 2 years apart in age. So when they used to go out and do stuff together, he referred to him as uncle, which my great uncle didn't like very much because, you know, they were only a couple of years difference. And he was, oh, don't call me uncle in front of people, you know. He was a sign writer by trade, and his name's Colin. Lovely, lovely guy, and one of those entrepreneurial types. Well, he moved to America years and years ago. And you know when you get the on the side of buses and stuff, where you have a graphic across the entire side of a bus, and it goes over the windows. So from the outside you've got a design across the whole thing, but from the inside you can still see out. He invented that process. It was his process. He invented it. And there's a video, oh man, I found it on YouTube ages ago, of him being interviewed on American TV when they put, I think it was it Shaq? It was an LA Lakers thing it had over the side of the bus. But, and here's the thing, and this is not made up, this is not nonsense, this is true. He didn't patent it. And then he had a load of problems with his accountant. He should be a multi-millionaire, and he got absolutely stitched up. His accountant cleared off with all his money, and you know, he ended up coming back to the UK years later. But he is one of those kind of scatterbrain entrepreneurial. He has these fantastic ideas, and they are phenomenal. And he goes off, and he doesn't think, you know, long term or the ramification. I mean, he's learned a lot more since then, obviously, but an amazing guy. Well, my auntie Jenny was a commercial artist as well. Oh, that woman is an amazingly talented human being. Oh, I love her to bits. She's an amazing woman. So the artistic thing kind of runs in the family. And again, I've lost my thread where I was going at. Was it talking about art? Anyway, regardless. It was about art, and it's gone. Doesn't matter, but it runs in the family. A lot of my family are artists and incredibly good at it as well. My canvas is Farming Simulator. That was way too cheesy. Anyway, bear with me a second. I need to check the map. I was right. I was right in my head about where I thought it was. I wasn't 100% certain, so I thought I'd have to check. And this is what I started saying, then drifted off onto one of my was talking about the pub. Yeah, anyway. Was about the great demand at the moment at the sawmill. That's just gone above 1,000. They're now paying 1,004 for wood chips. And here's why it's a big dilemma, because the next plot of land I'm going to buy is this one that I wanted to come and have a look at. It's right here. How do I get into it though? I'm not too sure. Through the gate here? Oh, there we go. Just here. All these trees. Now the thing about this, I can cut these down whenever I want. I can come over, cut a couple down. If I buy myself a chainsaw, cut them down, buck them up, or cut them up into long lengths. I mean, look at the size of that. And I'm just thinking, if I hire a wood chipper and take advantage of this, like immediately, I could make a bit of money on wood chipping now. I mean, at the end of the day, there's a great demand. If there's a great demand where you live, and you know, suddenly the price of something rockets, you would leap on it, wouldn't you? Yeah, this plot of land is right here. So I've just got the allotment. I thought it was around this area, but I wasn't certain. And because the forests don't have a... somebody had said it was over by the sawmill, and I thought I'd need to have a look. So, it's this plot just here. 17,510. If I do one load of wood chips, at the moment, I could pay for that entire plot outright. So, I now own my own yard, field 65, the allotment, and this little plot of land. And all of it... not too expensive. I've still got 60,459 in the bank. This little... oh, I've got my own little forest. Well, not a forest. A copse. Is the copse smaller? And I've got a little hill. Oh, man. Again, in the real world, I would love to own a little plot of land. Just a plot of land to call my own. You know, it wouldn't even have to be anywhere near where I live, but somewhere. Like, my brother and I have often said about getting a plot of land somewhere, but land in the UK is not cheap, and that's the problem. Of getting a plot of land and building a little cabin, you know, just a small cabin, like a man cave type thing, but somewhere you can go and sleep, or a plot of land where you can pitch a tent, and you could go and just do a bit of camping with the kids, and you could just build stuff and have, you know, just something to call your own, you know. I've got a garden, but it's not very big. And it's one of those kind of... again, it's a dream. But you never know. One day, unless there's someone out there, if there's anyone out there watching, if you own a farm, if you've got some land, you fancy, you know, gifting me a bit of land, or even just a bit of land I can come and camp on, just come and do a weekend away. That would be wonderful. I would love that. So, at this point I have two choices, because I've just got a funny feeling I've waffled on so much I could be way into my time for a video. I can either go and grab my fertiliser and get on with that fertilising job, or grab myself a chainsaw and a wood chipper from the store and just cut down a couple of trees, fill up my trailer, 12,000 litres, and sell it. I mean, one tree might do the whole thing, mightn't it? Just to cover the cost of the land. That way, I don't know. People are going to go mad, aren't they? You're exploiting it. It's cheating. It's not. It's on the map. It's on the land. I own the land now, and that's what they're paying for wood chips. Why wouldn't I sell them at that price? Anyway, so I can do the honest thing. Oh, they were both honest. No. I'm not even going to go down that route. I can do either at this point. One could make me an absolute bucket load of money. I mean, bucket load, to the point where I could probably afford to buy my cedar outright. And again, it's my land. There's a great demand. I'm doing it. I don't, whatever. Yeah, I'm doing it. I will come back and we will get that done. But while we've got a great demand, then why not? Now, I could be taking it to the biogas plant for 900 for 1,000 litres and then getting the byproduct of digestate. I could do. Am I going to spend the whole episode doing wood chipping? No, we're already a long way through the episode anyway. The wood chipper I will probably lease is the one that doesn't require a horsepower requirement because it has its own engine. All I've got to be able to do is get it there, which again I should be able to do. I'm going to need a chainsaw, and I'm not going to be doing massive chuck. I'm just going to buck it up into bits I can chuck in. This is going to be just, you know, even if I do a couple of trees now just to cover the cost of the land, because I suppose I could get a log grapple for the front loader, couldn't I? This has all gone a bit frenetic. It's because of the great demand. I'm now like, oh god, so we get it done. Oh, people are going to hate me for this, aren't they? Normally, out of the winter period, that's the one, the BA725D. I haven't used it for a while. The HEM 583 is a bit more expensive, but requires horsepower because you have to be attached to it. This one has its own engine, so all I've got to do, it's going to cost me $3,264 to lease, but I'm going to make that back easily. So, you know what? I'm going to do it. I will then go back to the yard, grab the trailer. This thing is huge, but all I've got to do is pull it. All I've got to be able to do is pull it. Well, this hasn't gone the way I thought it was going to today. This was not what I had intended, even slightly. There's no way I'm going to get on the traffic with it going that fast. Well, I'm going to see you there in a minute. I'm going to get this there, get it set up, grab the trailer, grab the bits and bobs I need. The fact that that little woodland is right by the sawmill as well. Oh man, this is struggling to pull it. Oh man, this is heavy. I can't believe I own that plot of land. How cool is that? This could work out absolutely. I mean, it couldn't have worked better with the great demand, buying the plot. I already had in my head I was buying the foresty bit today, but I wasn't going to do anything with it until winter when the price of lumber goes up, which is what it does with seasons. But at that price, I'd be mad not to take advantage. Okay, set up, got the conveyor belt up, front section now, it's not turned on yet. I've got to be careful how I drop these trees, because if I drop a tree out into the field, it won't allow me to chop it up. Again, if you're not happy about this, if you don't, there's nothing I can say. The opportunity knocks, and when it knocks, I answer the door. So, I'm going to cut in this way, I think. Let's go that way. I went to the store and got myself a chainsaw. Now, I've got myself a steel. There's a reason behind that as well. When I go up to the Lake District and we stay at my wife's friend's barn, there's a machinery store not far, just outside Cockermouth, called Cars Billington. And they sell model tractors and all sorts of stuff. I always pop in there. I've taken pictures there when I go, you know, as you might know, on Instagram and whatever. I take pictures and film and all sorts of stuff when I go away, and every time I go there I go to have a look, because sometimes they have machinery. One of the times we went, they had a forage harvester out in the yard that someone had bought and they were delivering. Another time they had a couple of massive Fergusons on a trailer, and it's that kind of, I have to go and see what they've got there, because it's amazing. What I'll do is chop that end section off so I can pick that up. So yeah, when I go in there, a lot of the signs I've got around, I've got one next to me. If you watch, like I say, if you watch that Man Cave tour, the one that says slurry store, toxic gas, no entry. That was from Cars Billington, and so yeah, they have steel chainsaws there. And I did, one of the times I went with my wife, I did say, oh, I might buy myself a chainsaw. You can imagine how that went down. Now, for a lot of you, possibly living in Canada, in America, in parts of the world where owning a chainsaw is perfectly normal because the land you've got requires it and you're clearing stuff and that kind of thing. For me, where I live, in a town, it's not the most common of practices to own a chainsaw. So it was that kind of thing of, right, engine on, turn the crusher. Now that might not yield any wood chip, but like I say, what I'll do is chop out into chunks I can carry. I could have got a log fork for the front loader, but that would have been more expense, so I'd be spending more money to make more money. I mean, at the end of the day, we should do okay. I don't know how much wood chip I'll get from one tree, and this may take a little while. And again, you know, this is preaching to converted. This is the people that are still here. All the people that have already switched off because they're so annoyed about what I'm doing. That's up to them. I want to buy a cedar. And I had resigned myself to the fact, you know what, I'm just going to lease stuff. But the fact that this, like I say, today seems to have been a very fortuitous set of events, you know, buying the land, getting it a lot cheaper, the message from GB about having his yard for sale, deciding on buying a plot of land with some trees on it, and then the great demand coming up. It all just, like I say, I anticipated the way I was going to end this episode. I was going to go and grab my fertiliser spreader, go off, do the fertilising job, and that was where we would kind of end it. Please pick up. That can't be too heavy. I'll say, no way is that too heavy. There's some wood chip going in. But it also goes to show that with very little equipment, you can do a bit of logging, you can do a bit of forestry. Like I say, I've got the front loader. I could have got a front loader fork, log fork, and I could be picking up much larger pieces than this. This cost me under 4,000 to lease. So you can do wood chipping and forestry fairly inexpensively. You don't need a Pond Scorpion King, you don't necessarily need any of the big gear. So yeah, I mean, however you want to go about it, really. This is too good an opportunity to miss, so I'm going to have to cut down a second tree to get enough wood chips for 12,000 litres. I don't know. Some of the big trees do, some don't. I don't know if the person creating these has the ability to change what you get from them. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know. Like I say, not a modder. How much have we got so far? It'd be next to nothing. Well, it's better than I thought it was going to be. Right, so as you can imagine, what I'm going to do now is continue to buck up this tree into small chunks that I can lift and throw. In reality, would I be able to throw a lump that big? Probably not. I could just about lift it. I mean, to be fair, once seasoned and dried out completely, it's much easier to carry large pieces of wood, as I've found when I'm moving wood around from my log burner in the man cave. So what I might do, like I say, off camera, and maybe every now and again, I might come out with my chainsaw, cut down a couple of trees, buck them up into longer lengths, maybe with my front loader and a log bottom, to have a few piles of wood laying about. So when we do get round to winter, I'm not sure farm dogs is happy about that prospect as I am. The mention of winter, I think, that I can then come and just grab lumber, and it can already be seasoning kind of while it's waiting. Like, so I don't know, maybe that could be something I do. It might not be. I might just wait till winter, and if I've got more money by then get some more machinery. I don't know. But it's all ideas. It's every now and again, if I cut down a couple of trees and buck them up. You know, I mean, to be fair, this land isn't going to be suitable for making into a field or anything, because you've got a big like hillock type thing there. You've got this depression here in the ground, but what I can do at some point is come back and replant, which I think I'm going to do. I tried to do on Holmokra a while back, and it wouldn't let me because there were too many trees already. So yeah, potentially I'll get to do it here. I'll if I do cut any down, I will plant more, which would be a rather nice thing to do, environmentally speaking and whatnot. Now it's going to work out almost perfectly that if I fill up the trailer and the wood chipper, because the wood chipper will hold 5,000 litres, that will work out exactly 17,000 litres, weirdly enough. 17,000 litres at the price that the sawmill was paying for wood chips at the moment would pretty much cover the cost of this bit of land that I just bought. So in essence, one full load and one wood chipper load will pay for it. Which would work out absolutely brilliantly. So yeah, I'll see you in a minute. We'll get this full. I know I said that a few minutes ago and then carried on talking. Have a look in now. Okay, halfway there. Have we done half the tree? Maybe. If I can find it again. I know that the concept of selling wood chips to a sawmill, but then the sawmills have always bought wood chips. So there's always been a wood chip sell point at the sawmills. I know someone, actually that was one of the comments I got, wasn't it? When I bought wood chips and sold them there, and the comment was made that it's utterly ridiculous that they would be. Well, I think ever since I started playing this game, the sawmill's always done wood chips and lumber. Anyway. And so, at 12:05, we have a full load in the trailer. The conveyor belt stopped a little while ago. I don't know if I've got a full 5,000 litres in there, but one tree did 12,000 litres, with a little bit to spare. So what I'm going to do now is whiz round to the sawmill. Actually, I meant to say, we used the back road that Paula and Gordon from the pig farm said I could use, so I came up through the pig farm round the back way, so I wasn't sure whether or not the wood chipper was too wide to get past at the pub between the fences, so that's what you saw. So we come up there, so we come out of our little gateway here, round to the side. It's all rather handy. I forgot about that dip in the road. Now, am I going to spend the next 4 or 5 hours just cutting down trees and wood chipping and making thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands? No. I could, absolutely I could, and there will be a cross-section of the viewing public that will be saying, why aren't you? Are you bonkers? If you've got a great demand, use it. You've got the woodlands, you've got the equipment, you might as well just make as much money as possible. I could, yes. But what I am going to do is, like I said, hopefully make enough money to cover the cost of the woodland itself. I could do a little bit more and make enough money to cover the cost of all the land I've bought today. But the woodland is there, it's not going anywhere. We're probably going to get more great demands. We'll get great demands over the winter. The lumber price will go up as well. I want to cover, actually I need to cover the cost of the land and leasing the equipment, so I'm going to need to another 4 grand on top. Now that's interesting. Could be the time of day. It's dropping. That was at 1,004. Why has that dropped again? Oh, it's in the price for TMR at the livestock barn. TMR's the way to go. Anyway, yeah, so I just need to cover the cost of the plot of land that's got the trees on, or that's what I'm going to. That's not just what I need to do. I could cover the cost of everything. I could now spend the next few hours until that great demand runs out completely and just cut down as much as I possibly can, but I'm not going to. That's not what I am, it's not who I am, it's not, I think I did it on the Valley of the Old Farm originally. Oh man, forestry, I just went to town. I mean, I know on Holmukra, but Holmukra was a forestry map, that was the whole point of it. On the Valley of the Old Farm, in the winter, when I was running seasons on that map, when it was paying out, I think I was at one point I was getting 13,000 per tree during the winter months when the price went up. That was an FS19, and I just, oh man, made my fortune in logging. I did, and again, why not? If it's there and it's available to you, why not? Fortune favours the bold. Sorry, that's better. How much was in this actually? Oh, just over 2,000. Okay. So what I'm probably going to do now then, I'm going to fill this up one more time. So I will have covered the leasing cost of this, the purchase of the chainsaw, and the plot of land. And I'll be happy with that because I've used the great demand to do that. The forest is paid for, done and dusted. The yard I've bought out of my money, as I have done with the plot. Forgotten it. 65. And obviously I've got my allotment, which is going to pay out a little bit every hour as well, which is going to be rather nice. I'd have cut down one. Here we go. Is that going to be too heavy to lift? It's quite a small tree, but yeah. Where's the end bit? So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So for any of you thinking, oh, that's it now, everything's ruined, he's going to just go mad and earn a fortune. No, I'm not at all. I want the challenge. I want to savour the experience. I want to savour playing and doing farming and building everything up. If I do this now while there's a great demand on, and decimate this entire woodland, and by the end of it end up with, I don't know what I could end up with, 500,000 or whatever, then the challenge of growing the farm is gone. Again, some people argue, and you've utilised your land, your property, you've made yourself a load of money, it would give me enough money to buy a farm, buy some animals in my first year. Yeah, it would. But I'm not going to. I may do over winter. If the price of lumber rockets, I might well come over here and do a load more logging in the winter. I'm kind of talking myself in and out of it. But anyway, we have come to the end of this episode. If you've liked it, if you've enjoyed it, give us a like. If you haven't, be kind. Come on. It's a game, we're having fun, we're enjoying ourselves. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.